Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
And you are listening to Season 4 of Stages Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more. And love where you are now.
I do want to ask, let me see your tattoo. I heard you talking about getting a tattoo.
Oh,
Okay,
but
good.
she's got one. Mine's
Do you know what that is, John?
It's a mustache? No.
No.
It's Willy Wonka?
It's the elephant god. It's
the elephant god.
Yeah, you know, see there's his nose and his little hat. It's the elephant god.
So
Ganesha.
Okay.
Ganesh. Oh, that's
And there's mine, which
And
is
yours
my
is
daughter
something from
took
your
a
mother?
my daughter took a Sharpie and wrote her
Okay.
name, like her signature at 7 years old in Sharpie. And I went,
Oh.
well, that's it. I want that forever.
Yeah.
Special, right?
Do you have
Yeah,
any
so-
tattoos?
I don't. But I should. I've always thought about getting them. I never knew the great one to get, so I haven't yet. Maybe I'll get your face, Marilee, on
Oh,
my
golly.
shoulder.
That'd be
You know,
fine.
I bet you
That'd be
if
fine.
there was a worldwide poll and we asked any pedestrian, do you think John Stamos has tattoos? I'm guessing 92% of people would be like, absolutely.
Why do you think?
Because you're a musician.
Oh, okay.
Because, child of like the 70s and 80s.
60s.
It just seems like you would.
When Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys died, I went to I found the most famous tattoo guy around here, and on the Beach Boys logo was the Indian on a horse,
Right.
yeah, up to the sun. I really have always loved that. That's Brother Records logo, and I went to get it, and the guy drew it on my arm, and it was like from my shoulder all the way down to my elbow and all the way around,
Oh.
and he literally had the gun go. Zzz. I go, stop, and so I didn't get it.
One of my favorite quotes is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It says, "Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen." I spent this weekend listening to a memoir, and it struck me that this person, whether he knows it or not, possesses this ability. He dreamed of playing the drums for the Beach Boys and then ends up doing so for over 30 years. He fantasized about getting a job on television so he could stop working at the family restaurant and ends up on General Hospital. He decides that he wants to do something funny, a show that's more like the sitcoms of his youth, and before he knows it, he's on Full House. Then he wanted to be taken more seriously, and he ends up on ER. And from there, it just kept going and going and going. He has starred on Broadway in Gore Vidal's The Best Man, Bye Bye Birdie, 9, Cabaret, and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. He has found himself in jobs with some of entertainment's titans like Walter Matthau, Carol Burnett, Sammy Davis Jr., Gary Marshall, James Earl Jones, and Dom Rickles, just to name a few. If You Would Have Told Me debuted at number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list. Please welcome to Stages Podcast Emmy-nominated actor, musician, and producer, John Stamos.
John Stamos to stage, please. John, come to stage.
Welcome.
I should have dreamed bigger, I guess. Can I say thank you guys for having me, and thank you for keeping theater alive? It just feels like it, COVID almost tried to kill it completely, and you guys kept pounding and talking about it, and you're just great for the business and really talented people.
You were not
You
at
and I
all.
almost did this too. Well, a couple of times.
What was that? We're on radio.
Bye Bye Birdie.
Yes.
So it was, I played, why did the name go? An English teacher. Gina Gershon did the role.
Right. Did you?
Right. What's the heck's the name? It's Albert
Rosie.
and Rosie. Thank you, my
Gina
friend.
Rivera originated.
Jeepers. So we pitched it to Roundabout, and it was Gavin Lee and myself. And then they said, we're getting 2 big stars. And we thought, well, of course you are. That's what you need to do. And it was you and Gina Gershon.
And then you said, I thought you guys were going to get 2 big stars.
No, give me a break. And then at the tail end there, They were wondering if they were going to extend after the two of you left,
Yes,
or whether
yes.
Gina was going to leave early and you were going to stay.
Right,
So
right,
it
right,
was
right.
Hunter Foster and myself sitting there watching the show, starting to even
Uh,
take notes and
uh,
waiting kind of on beck and call to see if it was going to extend. And they
oh,
didn't, but
gosh
I did.
darn it.
I closed my eyes and I imagined, I was like, oh, it's a
We would have had
possibility I could share the stage with John
Oh, I
Stamos.
would have loved that.
Mm.
We would have been
Of
I
whom
tell you
I
Yes?
had worshipped since I was
Oh,
little,
please.
because same voice teacher, my friend,
Oh,
Jill
let's talk about
Goodsell.
that. Jill Goodsell. Is she still around?
Yes, she
Oh,
is still
is she
teaching the
listening today?
children. She might. I will definitely tell her, because when I started at her studio, I mean, you were it. She had a shrine in your honor. And so
Oh,
every
really?
time you walked in, you were the student to like talk about and to show kind of where you could go from Little Orange County, California to, reach your
Sure,
dreams.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a really special thing to always have you at all of my voice lessons.
That's so crazy. She taught you better than me. I'm not a very good singer, but she y she was one of the first. Yeah, I guess I took lessons with her, but I was really young,
You
and
were really
then
young.
she did a production of Help the Globulinks. I don't know why I remember that, and
I
that
don't
I was
either.
in with her, and, she was a great, one of those great inspira when I can think
Yeah.
of people at my junior high school drama teacher and her and, of course, my parents.
Yeah.
Um, and that was the thing about I didn't talk about it in the book, but that was the thing about writing. Have you guys written a book yet?
No.
No, I've
Well,
done a
Mary
bit of
Lee's written a
writing, but
lot, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's heavy duty, man, but to go back and remember your story and remember where you came from and, be grateful. It just yeah, a whole new level of gratitude came to me when I started writing that, and I didn't think that I was like, I'm never gonna write a book. I'm not gonna talk about who I slept with. That's not what And then they kept asking, and I was a new father, and that was kind of interesting,
Mhm.
and then Bob Saget passed away, and I thought, "Okay,
Mm.
well, maybe I have that." And then I found these letters from my mother. I knew that my mom had written me a bunch of letters and my sisters, and she wrote these beautiful notes, and we kept them over the years. She passed away almost 10 years ago. I think, oh, the letters. Maybe that's the way in. And I put them all together, and I kind of used it as a roadmap of how to tell the story of John Stamos.
Do you have good recall of your past, or did you have journals, or how did you do it? Because I don't think I could do it without journals.
I have a pretty good memory, but my mom kept every contract, every picture, every
Oh,
teen
wow.
magazine, all my diaries, my calendars, every single thing that I did. And I remember I used to say to her, like, "Mom, what are you keeping all this crap for?" Now I know,
Uh,
For when you write your
But
book.
even
yeah.
that is daunting to start sorting through and
Oh
looking through,
God, yeah.
and you just get lost. But did you have a writing routine? So you'd wake up in the morning and you'd work for 3 hours, or you'd wake up in
Mm.
the middle of the night with inspiration and sit down and work. Did you have a routine? Because I find as a writer, that's where I struggle. I
Yeah,
I
no, I didn't have a
can't get
routine.
myself
That's
in a
why I
routine.
struggled. Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? And I asked friends that have written books. I said, "What do you do?" They said, "We get up, we go to the office from
Yeah.
1 to 4." And I didn't do that. I procrastinated until it was almost too. A friend of mine who knows me very well, he says, "You're pretty casual for having a deadline in a couple of weeks." I'm like, and
Oh,
then I
that
said,
deadline?
"Yeah, that did." Yeah, and I stayed up, and it was yes, it was daunting. And I started with what I thought was going to be the two hardest chapters, which turned out to be the first chapter, was this horrible day when I was driving under the influence and I got a DUI
Mm.
and I went to rehab. And then the next one I wrote, which ended up being the last chapter, was the day that Bob Saget died and my
Yeah.
relationship with him. And so I just had to connect A to Z, which was also very difficult. But you kind of discover your story as you're writing it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important things I really wanted to get across, other than paying tribute to my mother and my father, who I love so very much, and my son now, who I will have something to read, and my wife, and all the great people that have come in and out of my life over the years that have been so influential to me. The Don Rickles, Gary Marshall, you mentioned. Jack Klugman was a great. We'll talk about him in a second, because. But to do that, but then also to write about my experience in the theater, which, a lot of people, I've done a lot out there, but they don't, maybe not know about those times. And what I found was that I really learned the most. My all-time favorite thing I've ever done in my life was cabaret.
Mm.
But
Oh,
I learned more about when I did 9 and bombed in that. I mean, in my opinion, it was a failure. And so just you look at the failures and you go, okay, that's where I really learned, I think, and grew.
And we will be right back.
being in the public eye and being recognizable and celebrity from like a young age, walking into like a first rehearsal for something like a cabaret or a nine, is there such a fear of what are the expectations? What shoes do I have to fill? What are they expecting me to do or sing like? Because we feel like we already know you and your body of work and your celebrity.
But it wasn't as much that, it just was I was jumping into a new arena. I loved the idea of musical theater, and I loved watching movies, and I didn't go to, I lived in Orange County out by Disneyland, so there wasn't a lot of theater. But I did go to London. I was thinking this morning, I went to London with my mother when I was about 12, and we saw Billy Liar. Is that a show still? And
I
Salad
don't
Days.
know.
Those were the 2 shows that I remember seeing
Hmm.
first, going like, "Oh my God, that's incredible." And I auditioned to play the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, and I loved that's my favorite. And I got about, I could while or cut, stop. Can you do makeup? Oh, you can't? Okay, good. You do that in the show.
I
So
love it.
that
That's funny.
it was that I
What?
did, but then that was it. And I'm not a great singer. I'm not a great dancer. But here's the thing, like you said, is like, I don't know where I got the balls, and I don't know how I was so fearless. The first thing I did was How to Succeed in Business.
Yeah.
And after Full House, I said, I remember calling the agents. I said, I gotta get out. And Jack Klugman. So I did a show with Jack Klugman before Full House called You Again. And he was like, go to the theater. You gotta go to the theater. I mean, he was a genius, and he was my first real mentor. My father passed away after that, but I always gravitated towards these older gentlemen, the Gary Marshalls, Rickles, and these guys. And so then I got a call from an agent that said that Matthew Broderick is leaving How to Succeed in Business for 6 months, and they want you to come audition. I was like, looking back, and when you're writing, you're like, what the fuck how did I
Yeah.
do? And then your whole, and I'm sure you guys feel this too, like your whole life, you're like, how do I get back to that guy, that
Yes.
fearless guy that could walk into any room?
Right.
I
But
think those are the times when you really are on your dharma, you're on your path, when
yeah,
all of a sudden courage just floods you and you just
yes,
say yes.
I'm
And
going
you're
to
like,
rise
why
up.
did I just
Yep.
say yes to that?
Yep.
But it really is the right path. I wanted to say 2 things about Jack Klugman. The first thing is, I
yes.
think part of the reason that you gravitate so much toward older gentlemen and that feeling of a mentorship. And I think it's cultural. I think the Greek culture, the Italian culture, that Mediterranean culture, African cultures revere the elderly. And in America,
Yeah,
we don't.
we
We
should.
dismiss them. And
Oh
in
my
other
God.
cultures, they're very revered.
Asian,
And
right? Yes, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
So, but also about Jack Klugman, Danny Burstein.
Yes,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
so
love him.
Through
he
Bob,
came on the
actually.
podcast and he told us such a great story about Jack Klugman. And I
Oh, he did?
remembered it was like 2 or 3 years ago. He told us this story, and he
Tell
said
me.
he was a young actor. He got cast with Jack and Tony Randall, and they just took him under their wing. And
Yeah.
Jack Klugman said to him, the key to being a great actor on stage is give it all
Give
away.
it away.
Give it all away, put it on stage, leave
Mhm.
nothing left behind.
Yeah.
And
And it's not about what you
just
can get. It's
right.
about
It's about giving it
away.
all
Yep.
on
Yep.
stage. And
Yep.
that always stayed with me. And he must have been such an incredible gentleman, because
Oh, he
you hear
was,
from
yeah.
so many people that he mentored them and took them under the wing. And is that something important to you to carry on? Do you want to
Yeah, oh, it's
mentor young
happening. Yes.
actors?
Yeah, it's happening now, and I just have to accept it and go like, "Okay, now I'm the old guy."
Yeah.
I had a kid yesterday call me. He's on tour. He's a drummer and talking about fame and how to deal with it and stuff. And I really, in those moments, I go, "Oh, okay, this is it. This is the pay it forward moment of my life." And I'm grateful to have it. Jack was, yes, he was. You could see I think one of the first episodes of You Again. You could see him, and I went in, auditioned at NBC, and I remember all these big wigs going in there, and I went in with Jack, and I did the blah, 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 blah. And then he go wait up there. And I sat in the waiting room, and I could hear boom, blah, things crashing, and like a trash can falling. And he comes out, his steam's coming out of his ear. All right, come on, try it again. Now look me in the eye, and I really listen. And so I went back in, and then I was starting to get a little like, oh, what's that? And and they didn't want me. And he said, if John Stamos doesn't do this show, then I don't do this show. I'm so
Wow.
grateful to him for that. And so then went in and auditioned for How to Succeed in Business. It was very funny. I went to Des Maganoff's Brownstone at the time, and he said he'd worked with me before and tell me what they're looking for. And it was the day that the OJ trial, the verdict was being announced.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's glued to the TV, and I'm like, "Hi, Des." He's like, "Yeah, come here." And he's watching, and I said, "Well, let's go through this. How to? Yeah, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine." And the verdict came, and I went in there again, like just kind of like fuck it, here I go, man. What do I got to
Yeah.
lose? Nothing. I got nothing to lose. And so I didn't, to answer your question, I didn't go in thinking, oh, I'm famous. I just did it. So then I went into rehearsals, and what I did, which I do in all these shows, is I come in as truly humble as I can and go, help me, please teach me
Mm.
let me watch you. And they all helped me. Like Vicky Clark was, she was a teacher as well. And she said, come over. And she used to work, she'd give me scales and she'd work on the songs with me at her house. And over the years, just everybody's just been so helpful.
Have you seen her in Kimberly Akimbo?
No, I know
Oh,
she won.
she's
Did she
so
just?
good.
And
I
that
love
she won the Tony for that.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
great.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys see her, or if she's listening, thank you, Victoria. Because,
Aw.
but everybody was like that. And I'm so grateful to all those people.
When you are part of the Broadway community, it really is. You can come back anytime. I mean, that
Well, thank
community
you.
is pretty
Yeah, it's so
steadfast and
tight.
true, and the arms are always open wide. And
Thank
Theater
you.
people are really special people. They're
They
not like
are,
normal
right?
people. They're very, very
we're
special.
not normal. We are
We're not
Circus,
normal.
you're circus freaks, sort of, really.
a little bit.
I have a fun little game for us, okay?
Okay.
This is something that at the end of the podcast, as you know, we do 5 questions. And often I do this as the 5 question, but we're going to do it now. And there's a
What?
reason.
Shaking it
Yes.
up?
No, I'm going
Are
to
you
shake it
trying to
up.
get rid of me?
No, I'm
No.
doing it
Oh,
because in your
Okay.
book,
yes.
you talk about the first time that you fell in love and you use an obscure Danish word called
yeah.
floralstat, right?
No, it's called Forelsket.
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 Okay.
So one of my favorite books is called The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, and it's filled with bizarre
Oh.
little words like florelsket. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I picked a word. You guys are each going to make up your definition to this word, but then you're going to tell me an example of in your life when this word applied. Okay, ready?
I feel pressure.
When you tell us what it really means, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Once I
Okay.
tell you the true meaning.
Okay.
So
go.
the word is wolah. WOLLAH. It's a noun.
That's what
So-
I say right before breaking plates at a Greek restaurant. Voila! Boom. No? You look like Stephanie, you look like a young Olympia Dukakis. Have you ever been told that?
No, but I will take that.
Do you see it?
That's
Do you see it
quite
a
a
little bit,
compliment.
Marilyn?
I love that. Yes, I do see
I
it.
do get Greek a lot.
She's
I am
great.
Yes.
Italian and German, but I lived in Astoria when I moved
Oh,
there,
wow.
and everybody just, welcomed me into the Greek culture. So thank you
Well,
for
we're
that.
welcome. You're welcome. She
Go
was
back to the
wonderful too.
word.
I worked with her too.
The
What's
word
that?
wola.
Wola.
Wola. A noun.
Wola.
Vola. Well, I said mine, Stephanie.
I
but-
like yours.
Wola.
Okay.
You do?
Wola
Well,
is a ritual that happens at the end of every year where you roll up a written sort of manifesto or mission that you wanted to accomplish and didn't that year, but will
Okay.
transfer to the next. And so then
I
don't
thought it
You
was
always have good ones.
wasn't it a
could
password to
be.
get into Burning Man this year? Wola.
Wola.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay,
That's
what
pretty
is
close.
it?
Okay, here's the real definition. It's derived from the French word voila.
Oh,
It's something that you've always misunderstood for years without knowing it. A familiar word with a weird pronunciation, a favorite saying that means the exact opposite of what you thought it meant, or a well-known factoid that's been disproven. So I'll give you an example. In my life, when this applies,
Okay.
my mother was from the north end of Boston. And that's a different Boston accent than like the North End or Southie. It's different. It's a
Yeah.
little more drawn out. So like my mother will say, instead of saying horsepower, she'll say it's a horsepower. The car has horsepower. So my whole life, when you had the radio on, she would say, "Can you lower the music?" So I thought lower was what you did with
To lower.
volume. I didn't know you lowered it. I thought you lowered it.
Lower.
And it wasn't until I went to college and people were in my car and I'd be like, "Hey, lower it." And they'd be like, "What?" I was like, "Lower it. You lower the radio." They're like, "Oh my gosh. No, you don't." So that was for me. That
That's your
was my
Wola.
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 What's yours, Steph?
mine's very clear. So, reading books or whatever, whenever the word man's laughter would come up, I was like, this doesn't seem appropriate. Man's laughter. manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
It's
Oh my gosh.
manslaughter. So
That's
that
a good
changed
one.
everything once I understood the definition of manslaughter. I was like, oh, very different.
Oh,
Very
Wola.
different.
Wola. Is it Wola? Is that the word?
Wola.
That's
Wola.
what I had that moment when Stephanie revealed that she did wear those assless chap things that Cher wore in the video and
I
on
do
the
not
ship.
want to turn back time. I do not want to do that. Hola. Hola
Voila.
mola.
Hola.
Mola mola. What's your favorite theater experience?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
golly.
What was the first musical you saw? How about
Well,
that?
I will tell you this. So
Okay.
I, speaking of Orange County, so I too grew up
Okay.
in Orange County. My first
You
jobs were, yeah, I was Miss
Oh,
City of
because
Cyprus. Just to
you
let you, back in 1990, I
wait,
was
really?
City of
But
Cyprus. Yeah,
Cyprus is my town. Like I've never heard
I
anyone say they were.
know. I
But
looked
where
at
did you
it.
live?
I lived in Brea, which about was like
Yeah.
10 miles north. So Fullerton, Yorba Linda
You
area,
had a little
that
more money
area.
than my family. Okay, go ahead, rub it in.
Just a smidgy, smidge.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Bougie.
anyway, so I was shipped out to New York City for an audition for Beauty and the Beast.
Shipped out.
And
Did they put you in a
well, they
box
they
and
paid
there you
for me,
go?
kind of. It felt that way. I was scared as
Mhm.
could be.
How
I
old were
kind of
you?
dug 19 going on 20.
We
Yeah.
were working together at that time, Steph.
Oh, what
After
show? Yeah, you
20.
guys did the big
We were
show.
in the Will
Marilyn.
Rogers Follies
I
together,
met
and
you at 20. Yeah.
I
So
remember
I
they
went
flew you out.
back to Disneyland. Right, right. So I was the first singing Disneyland at no, pardon me. I was the first singing Belle at Disneyland.
Wait, wait,
It
wait,
went
wait,
on.
wait. Let's talk about that. You worked at
Okay.
Disneyland?
Yes.
I should have read your Wikipedia. Sorry.
You
I,
don't need to read anything. Yes.
yes, I
So I
do.
was
I
there
would
for
have.
way too long, John. I
Did you ever see me
was
wandering around there or
No,
Michael
who are
Jackson?
you? Oh, well, you would visit a lot. Michael
I did.
Jackson would always have special seats, and maybe you did too.
Mm.
They would always rope things off for him if we were in the parades, or if you went to what at the time was called the Videopolis stage, which
Oh,
is
I
now like the
know. I know.
Fantasyland stage.
Wait, wait. What years were you?
I was in
You played
Beauty and the
Belle?
Beast in
A
like,
beautiful. Oh,
1991, 1992, maybe inching into 1993.
at Disneyland.
Yes.
I used to play there with Papa Do Run Run, which was a surf band that I heard there when I was a
Come
kid.
on.
I would go to Disneyland, and it was like in my backyard, and that was part of my wonderful
Yeah.
childhood. And it was general admission was $5, so we'd save our lunch. I wouldn't eat for a week, and we'd save the lunch money and go. And I just like if I could, I'm sure you guys have these moments too. It's like if I could go back to that kid standing in line for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Matterhorn with the acne and wearing my dad's members only jacket and
Hell
the
yeah, you
Aramis
did.
cologne and the big
Mhm.
white shoes, and trying to and go, it's gonna be okay. You're
Yeah.
gonna get some girls in your life. You're gonna
It's
be
gonna
on
be okay.
TV. You're gonna
Yeah.
be on a podcast stages with the great Marilee and Stephanie Black. No,
We
wait.
did it.
So, but I want to hear a little more
Anyway,
about
so
playing that
with that,
character.
I was flown out for the final
Right.
callbacks to do
And do
it
you
on
always love
Broadway.
theater, musical theater when you were
Always,
young? Both of you
always,
got
yeah.
okay.
Oh
And where are
yeah,
you
I was
from, Marilee?
obsessed.
Where are you from?
Boston. I grew up in
Oh, sorry,
Boston.
you said that. Yes, right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
I
But I
played
remember
there.
my mom took me to see My Fair Lady when I was a kid, and I sat down in that theater and I thought, wait a minute. This
Yeah.
is someone's job. This is a job. This is what this is, they get paid. This is a job. I have to do it. I just remember being mesmerized when I sat
Mm.
down, just the smells and the
Yeah,
gold on the
yes, yes.
ceiling and the sound of the orchestra
The
warming up. And
orchestra.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
The
For me, it
overture
was
is those go ahead, I'm sorry.
nothing
Sorry.
It
like
was
it.
just the varying opportunities and experiences you could have within a 48-hour period. Because I saw Crazy for You, which was like old musical theater, right? All
Mhm.
Gershwin music, Susan Stroman choreography. It was just ingenious. Loved it. Saw Tommy, which was
Mm.
hardcore rock at the
Mhm.
time, like really cutting edge. And then saw Cheetah and Kiss of the Spider Woman,
Oh
which was a
yeah.
little more
Mhm.
like avant-garde and edgy. And I just thought,
Mhm.
oh, this is where I need to be. Like
Yeah.
all of these three shows are so innovative but remarkably different. And I don't know
Mhm.
where my place is, but my place is somewhere in
You
these,
found it.
20 blocks for
And it
sure.
does
And what
sort of feel
happened?
like that's happening right now. I mean, there's a
Ah,
lot of shows happening right
and
now,
they're
and
all
they're
so
all
wildly
very
different.
different. And
Yeah.
but wait a second, Steph, you never finished your story. Did you get the job?
I
Sorry.
did not. It was
Sorry.
between me, Susan Egan, and Kim Huber, and Susan Egan took the role.
So it
Another
was for the
Orange County
movie.
girl.
Was it for the movie?
No, it was
Oh, it
for
was just to
the
play at
That's
the
right,
thing?
on Broadway. So at Disneyland, this
Oh,
was
right,
their
right, right, right.
first, theatrical adventure, and it was Beauty and the Beast that ran.
Susan Egan's father took my tonsils out,
Yeah.
which I still have.
Oh,
That's
wait,
hysterical.
you saved your tonsils?
I told you my mom saved everything, and there's a little jar in formaldehyde, and there's these two little round, it looks like
No,
very
that's not
small
good.
meatballs. Terrible, but
You're
it was her
That's
lying.
not
dad.
You
good.
are This is a fib.
That's really not good.
Ask her.
Loretta, I
No,
need to ask you
she's dead.
something. Oh, God bless. Well, you don't know my connection to
The
That's true. That's true.
heavens.
Why don't they have FaceTime to heaven? Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great?
I don't know.
I'm
Aside
looking up
from family members, who would you talk to?
Walt Disney.
Oh,
Well, or I
you
could.
would.
Okay, so we're going back and we're talking all about starts and beginnings. And what do you tell young kids when they're just getting into this business as a mentor? What advice do you offer them?
There's so many kids out there that are. Hopefully, they're listening to this, and hopefully, they'll learn a little something. I know they'll learn from you guys, but it's just we just have to go for it, right? Like
Right.
it- it's more complicated these days, I would think. With social media is a pain in the ass, and
Yeah.
these young kids, all they're getting is is negative. I was at Pixar last week, and they showed us the first 30 minutes of Inside Out,
Mm,
and they added a character, anxiety. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I get it. These poor kids, because it's just bad news, bad news, bad news, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to filter
Yeah.
it like we do. And then
yep.
people crushing your dreams for stupid comments. Look, if you listen, kids out there, don't buy into it. Just put your stuff out if you want. Make a movie. Put yourself on.
Right.
Start a
Just jump
video.
in. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
just
right.
start.
Yeah.
Start
Well,
something.
it's what the quote said at the top of what I said at the top of the read. Ralph Waldo Emerson, once you make a decision and start moving toward it, the universe conspires to make it happen.
Yes.
And
That's
we
right.
say this all the time on this podcast. Everything you ever dreamed of lives on the other side of your fears. You just have
That's
to go
beautiful.
through them.
You gotta go
You
through
gotta
them.
keep
Well,
starting.
nowadays, like, what's the fear? That's what you have to look at. Like, what, being embarrassed, like, because you
I
can't.
think it's more judgment than failure, to be
Yeah, but who
honest,
cares
with
about that?
kids.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would love to infuse that. And,
Yeah.
I the same way I go, where's that button? But
Mm.
a lot of the times it's happening in our own heads. That's why I wanted to know
Mhm.
what your sort of mantra is in your head, because most of the things that I see these kids telling themselves, they'd never tell a friend. They'd
Right.
never say that to anyone else except themselves.
Right.
And I just don't understand why we are so critical, so
Yeah.
demanding, so
Unkind.
hurtful, so poisoning
yeah.
to our own fragile, beautiful selves.
Right. Right. All the
Yeah.
time.
But
I think
It is.
also
Yeah.
part of this is the education system, because we're taught not to think outside the box. We're taught walk from A to B. We're taught
Yeah,
follow
that's
the
right.
instructions. And if you veer, you get a point off. You must follow the instructions. And I think often creative people don't process well in that world.
No.
And to be really successful, there is no formula. You can't walk from A to C to B.
No, there's no formula.
You have to
No.
go. It's not a straight line. It's zigzag and it's outside the box. And so I think when you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah, you're right.
encouraged or valued for being different
Right.
in your youth in school, you start to really doubt yourself and you really doubt your
Yeah.
abilities and what you're capable of.
I was terrible in school. I was terrible. I did kind of try to buck the system. Like, why do I need to learn? I'm never going to cut a frog in my life. I don't need to know that. I'm
Right.
not going to do, but like, why don't you teach me stuff that I could use in my life? Like, or they'd say like, well, this is just to get your tools for learning stuff. Why don't you give me tools to learning stuff that I'm going to use in my life? Like dealing with women, balancing a checkbook,
Being kind.
stuff. Being kind.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's got to be put in there more. It's a tough time now, but it's also a great time because there's so much going on. There's so much theaters back. When I was a kid, my mom had a 16mm camera, and we'd make these little movies, and you couldn't edit them. They'd develop them, and the only place to show them was in my living room, Now you can make something on this phone that's incredible.
Yeah.
You could do songs, you can do theater, and YouTube has got, or it will teach you everything. There was no YouTube. I had to take drum lessons and guitar lessons and put it on here, and there you go. That's
That's
right
right.
there. You have no excuse to not show your
But
talent.
then follow Jack's advice and give it away.
Yes,
Don't
give
it
go
away.
back and read everybody's criticism. Don't go back and
Oh,
look
no.
for immediate applause. Just
Right.
do the art,
Do
give it
the art.
away, learn the lessons that you need to learn,
Yep.
and then move on with
And
those
don't wait for
lessons.
perfection.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
never going to be perfect. It's going to come from you with your own unique, whatever it is you have to offer. And if you wait for it to be perfect to share it with the world, you'll never
right.
share it.
You'll
You'll
never share it.
And live your life too. A lot of people like, what can I do to go live your life? Go
Right.
learn how to dance, how to sing, how to
Yeah.
travel. Because once you get a gig, you're gonna bring all that to it.
And living the life only enriches what you're going to do in any
Right.
aspect of the art. It's going to deepen everything. It's going to
Yeah.
give you choices and options. It's going to give you things to, oh, I remember this one, whatever, the sense memory. It
Mhm.
only
Yes.
enriches. So just don't do art. Like
Yeah.
John
Right.
just said, travel,
Do
meet
everything.
people. Yeah,
Meet
do
people,
all the
yeah.
things.
Are you comfortable talking about your young son?
Yeah, well, he's 6 tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, he's
He's not
6.
so new, but he's just the joy of my life. It's just everything. I was confusing the universe for a long time with everything, right? My career wasn't great, and I was drinking. And when I straightened up, like all of my dreams, my real dreams, yes, I dreamed to be on TV, a sitcom, but to have a family, that's what I came from. And so he is just the light of my life. We just took a road trip, me, my wife and him. And it was the first time we've traveled, just the three of us. And it was just so wonderful to unplug and just plug it into my family and just be grateful. Boy, I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful. And I think too, when we're going back to advice and stuff, I was telling this kid yesterday, his name is Grayson Recruitment. He's an incredible drummer. And he said, now I can't go out and people are, I said, be kind to everybody, be nice to everybody. To this day, I'll have people go, I met you 32 years ago and you were nice and you took a picture. So that always helps. I think that's helped me a lot. I think that my talent is whatever. I'm okay. I still look kind of young. That helps. But I would just been for whatever. My dad, I worked in his restaurant and he wanted me to go to college and get a degree in business. And I would take over the family burger joints. He had 3 of them. I didn't want to do that, of course. I wanted to be an actor. And so, but I watched him and he treated the busboy the same way he treated his best customer. And that has stayed with me. And so I said, and he said, you got to go to college. And I went to go sign up in the Cypress College. You know where that is?
Yes,
And I couldn't
yes.
find the sign up room. And so I was like, well, I'll go to Knott's Berry Farm. And I came back and said, next semester, you're in big trouble if you don't. Next semester. And I said, I got to get on TV. I got to get on TV. And so I go in, I auditioned for General Hospital. Again, I'd never been to New York. And it was the part of Blackie Parish, this street urchin guy. I didn't know what urchin. I had to look up that. I was there. And he was like an orphan. And I thought, well, I don't know New York. I was so Orange County. I said, I gotta get a leather. I loved Saturday Night Fever. I love Travolta, and so I said, I gotta get a leather jacket. I borrowed my mom's leather jacket, but it was like a long, voluminous, kind of puffy jacket, and I had my feathered hair. And again, I was so naive. Maybe you saw that in the book, really. Like, even at 18, I think I was then. I just was so. Anyway, I'm working on my walk down Santa Monica Boulevard, trying tight. I got feathered hair and, hear these guys at the bars go, woo, you get it, girl. I'm like, okay, great. And I'm, like
It's your
walking like
mom's coat.
yeah,
You
my mom's coat, my feathered hair.
know.
And I said, I need a bandana. Chachi on Happy
Oh
Days.
my
He's a
God.
New York guy. So I need and he tied it around his thigh, right? So I
Oh,
go in,
yeah.
turns out there's a lot of bandana shops on that street. And I go into one and I say, oh, I'll take that yellow thing. Thank you. And the guy, I'll never forget this. The guy goes, today's your lucky day because with every bandana, you get a free back massage. I said, oh, thank you, sir. But I'm going to an audition. So I tie the yellow band thing and I go in and I'm on my walk and I come up with all this unbridled, bam, I come into the casting. Bam, bam. I started, the lines were, I got two guys, Weber, baseball bats in one hand and brass knuckles in the other. He goes, stop. I go, yeah. He goes, what? Stop moving around. Just calm down. Don't, you don't need to burst anything. Okay. Talking about 2 guys, Weber, baseball bats. Stop. I go, what? He goes, so you like to be peed on? I'm like, what? And he goes, well, that's what the yellow bandana means, wrapped around. That means you like to be. I'm like, oh my God. And I remember walking out of that audition. It was a sunny day. And I was like, okay, Hollywood, piss on me. Come on, come on. And
You
I
might
got the
as
role.
well.
But I called home and I said, and I always used to fake out. I said, oh, I got bad news. What? And they're all around the phone. I got the job. And you could hear them screaming. And you could hear my dad in the background going, tell him you can't work on Sundays. You're my Sunday guy. And he made me stay working at the restaurant for months. I would shoot the show during the week. It started to air, and people were starting to come in going, I'll have a cheap. Hey, aren't you the guy on? Nah, I'll have a fresh. And after a while, I was like, Dad, I'm famous. I got to quit. No. And I never, in writing this book, I figured I was like, did he keep me there because I was good for business? Because girls started coming around. Was he trying to keep me humble? That didn't work. Or was he just trying to, teach me discipline and keep me grounded? And he came to the set of General Hospital and he saw me talking to a crew guy pulling a cord, a cable. And he goes, you got, and then talking to the producer the same way. And he said, all right, son, you can quit. God bless you. Go with God. Go.
Great. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
But,
He had seen the kindness, right?
yeah,
And
that's
he's
what it
like,
is.
okay, I did a good job. He knows what's up. He knows.
Yeah.
I would think though that the soap opera world, that's got to be hard with new pages of script. Different. I mean, there's no time to like sit with the material, figure it all out. I would think it's
Mhm.
churn and burn, no?
Yeah, for sure. It was like 30 pages a day I had,
Whoa.
I only signed a 2-year deal because the character was gonna die, and they
Oh,
were gonna
okay.
kill off Blackie, and my mom and all of my relatives wrote in all these letters, and, so they kept me around. I was making $400 an episode, that was it, and I told the producer, Uber, and she was a great influence in my life, Gloria Monty, very tough woman, came from New York, and she took me to lunch at a famous, Italian restaurant, and Dean Martin, Hannigan, was sitting over at a couple tables over,
Oh, how
and he was sitting
cool.
by himself, and he had these big square, Swifty little Czar glass, like they look like two
And
window
a
bits.
yellow bandana
And
around
he
his
was wearing,
head.
yeah, that was weird. And I went over and peed on his shoes, and the guy, and so she said, so you want to leave, dude? And I said, yeah, Gloria, I want to be funny. I was only 19. You want to be funny, okay? And she takes me over to meet Dean Martin, and he had a table setting for another person, but no one ever came. He just, that was his move, so
Hmm.
people wouldn't sit down with him and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, towards the end of it. And she said, "Hello, Mr. Martin." And, meet. So the maitre d' took us over there, and we said hi. And she said, "Well, this gentleman's the star of my show, and he wants to leave. And tell him, that you don't want to leave where you came from, and don't." And he goes, "Run." I go, okay. And she got pissed. We went back. But she said, if you leave, dear. And I thought it was a mafia hit. I thought she had a gun under the table because she goes, "You'll never work in this town again."
Oh, wow.
But
How
did that scare you?
cliche.
No, I
Should
was so stupid. I said, well, no, I think I will. No, I got a development deal at
yeah.
CBS. I think, I don't know.
You really weren't nervous when she said that she could
Mm-mm.
kind of sabotage you. Really?
No, and she didn't mean, she was still very kind to me, and they threw me a big party, and it was
Right.
a very happy time in my life, and
It was a test
I
of your
just loved it.
wills. She was testing your wills, and you were
Uh,
determined to go.
Yeah, she was
Wow.
something else. Gloria Monty, her name was
As
beautiful.
silly as this sounds, I want to know the how Have Mercy began. Did you
My,
come up with that? Did the writers come up with that? You guys had all these like catchphrases on Full
mhm.
House, and Have Mercy really took off. Was that
This
you?
interview was this interview was going so well. It was so
Look,
smart,
it
so
is boop a
interesting.
doop a doop. We're
I'm
bouncing all
kidding.
around.
I'm kidding. What's so funny too is now my son, he watches Full House now once in a while,
He
or
does.
he'll watch it in the car on the way I drive him to school. And to be honestly, like I never really got the show until I heard my son laughing in the backseat at
aw,
jokes.
that's so
And
sweet.
and and I'm listening to the show, and I'm going, oh my God, I get it. I think I get it now, because it's still around. I mean, this is
It's comforting, John. It's
it's comfort
comforting
food, yeah,
comedy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the kids were great, obviously, and the parents were great, and it wasn't, a lot of these shows, the parents were idiots and the kids ran it wasn't like that.
Right.
But to hear him laugh, like I'll say, Billy, put your toys away. I go, you got it, dude. Like I think he does it just to mock me. No, I heard the Roy Orbison, he says mercy, in
Uh-huh.
Pretty Woman. And so that's kind of where I got have mercy. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
was
Great.
thinking, but Gary Marshall actually told me, he said, get a catchphrase. Fonzie had A, and
Uh-huh.
Potsy had
Oh,
Z on it. And so,
Yep.
okay, Gary. God, I loved him. All I wanted to be on was a show like Happy Days, right? I want to play a character like Fonz. And now to know Henry,
I
kind of,
love
we
him.
are, oh my God.
He seems like such a great gentleman.
Well, he was, again, like he was one of the first celebrities that I really wanted to meet. And it was at a General Hospital they used to play softball against each other. And he came up, I said, nice to meet you. He goes, nice to meet you. I'll
Mm.
never forget the way he said that. I tell him every time I see him. And he wasn't looking around to see who else he could say behind my shoulder.
He meant
Nice
it.
to meet you. Yeah, it was so powerful.
Um,
But that was my dream. Then we became friends, and he made me sit in the writer's room in the corner and keep my mouth shut and watch and learn. And
yeah.
I would watch how they constructed scenes
What a
and made
gift.
jokes funnier. What a gift. And it was
Mm.
Harvey Miller and Jerry Belson, and Gary Marshall was one of them. And he's the one who suggested that I play a Jesse on Full House. So I had that too. Grateful to him too. He was again, like just another great mentor in my life. And I think
Mm.
people would say, like, why do these old guys like you? I said, because, well, a lot of times, like with Rickles and stuff, it was during a time when people thought he was dead. I just paid attention to him. And then
Yeah, that's
then
right.
he got a lot of the accolades that he deserved with these tributes and stuff. But with
That's right.
Gary, I don't know why, I remember him for years. He would say, you got to meet Julia Roberts. She's like you. She's got a nice mother and she's got family, and
Mm.
you guys would be great. And we never met, but he was always a man of his word. And he on his so they called me and said he's about ready to go. He doesn't talk or anything, but he could hear you. So you want to come by and say goodbye? They said, go in and see him. And it was just me and him. And I was, Gary, I love you. I was telling him all these things. And you mean so much to me. Without you, and all of a sudden I could hear someone sniffling in the dark corner. And out from I swear, just like a movie, out from the corner comes Julia Roberts in the light and said, hi, John, I'm Julia. I said, oh my God. We hugged. I said, he made it happen. He wanted me to meet you, and we met,
there's a
Yes.
beautiful theater in Burbank. It's the Gary Marshall
Mhm.
Theater. It's
Yes.
so sweet. Have you ever played there or done anything in that venue?
It's called the
His
Falcon, and
Yes, the spirit
Gary.
is there. His spirit is
Oh
there. It's a
yeah,
really special space.
I kept a lot of phone messages over the years from people, and his would always start, "Hello, this is Gary from the Falcon Theater." Gary loved the theater, obviously.
They even tried to, I think, to premiere
Pretty Woman.
Happy Days the musical
Oh, right, right,
at
right,
the
right.
Falcon Theater.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I saw it there. I saw it there. I
Rory
hosted a
O'Malley,
benefit.
who went on to
Yes,
win a Tony, he
yes.
was part of it. It was kind of
Mhm.
a great cast. It never really took off, but
Mm.
what a great idea. I mean, that formula could absolutely sing with how much we have. I've got
Sure.
one big sort of weighty question to ask you before we go into something else. But, there's a lot of
This is such a
actors that
joy,
we
by the
get
way.
to.
Thank you
Oh
again.
my gosh, it's our pleasure. Thank
You
you.
two are wonderful,
Truly.
and it's a
Come
real
on.
pleasure. I mean it. Go
Um,
ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I'm so interested
You can
when
interrupt with that statement anytime about how wonderful
All
we
right,
are.
okay.
Okay, sorry, Steph. Go ahead.
and
What's
when
the
I
wildest thing that happened in your dressing room back in the old days? When you guys were at the in the
we
Will
would
Fall.
make our bras into hats and then have fashion shows. Okay,
No,
period. We're
no.
moving on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
we also played murder mysteries, so people would
Oh, that was
hide
so
underneath our dressing
fun.
tables or in our showers right before curtain,
Oh,
and
we
they
but
would
gotta.
this
quote
is the
unquote
greatest, though.
kill us.
Let's
No,
hear
but
it.
I've got a real heavy duty
But
question.
But then
wait,
let's come back to that, because there's so many funny things that happen in the theater, all the superstitions and all the
You
crazy
both are killing
people.
me. Talk about
Sorry.
killing me. You
Go ahead.
both killing me.
Okay,
Go
fine.
ahead.
Ask your
Yeah.
damn question.
It better be good, by the way.
I am so intrigued with those that have been famous for the entirety of their life to this day. And so much of their identity is the shows, the credits, the notoriety, that when we reach the age of 50 or 60 and there's a whole new stage in your life, how do you now identify yourself? What would be the order if you were a multi-hyphenate?
Mm.
What's your order of identification?
Father.
Okay.
And then the rest would be jack of all trades.
Okay. Painter,
guess, right?
writer,
Does that make sense?
actor. Yeah.
Do you know that whole phrase, by the way? Jack
Which
of all
one?
trades?
No.
Jack of all trades and a master of none
Oh,
is
yeah.
oftentimes better than a master of one.
Oh.
They leave out that second part.
They
So
always
it's
leave out that
actually
second
a
part, 'cause
great
my dad,
thing.
he would say, "Stop doing so many things. Just concentrate on one thing." And you know what? It's kept me going because, well, I'll do television, then oh, I'm tired of that. Let me go out on the road with the Beach Boys, and I get to play music in front of the. That's too. They go to the theater, and then go back to see. I have such a blessed life, such a blessed career
Yeah,
that
you do.
if I just get to do so many great things with so many great people.
I have a really personal question, and you don't have to answer it if you're not comfortable, but
I used to put my bra on my head too. You're right.
You did? What's
Yeah,
your
we
cup
dance around.
size? I need to know the cup size.
I don't know.
but the
Does
truth
it
is we will
matter?
put my bra on heads and her bra on chin.
It's true.
That was how it
It's
really
true.
was,
Okay.
John.
Mine was like a little
There's a
chin
lot.
Hers was
strap,
a little
and
chin
yours
strap,
was
and mine went over the head. So,
That's funny.
but let me ask you,
Okay.
when you got sober and you got help for all of that, are you a part of a program that you continue? I know that in Hollywood, a lot of guys out there are in the program together and they're always helping each other. You
Yeah,
often
that's
hear
helpful.
guys talking
Yeah.
about that. Is
It
that a
is.
big part of your life?
It should be bigger, to be honest with you, if I'm being very
Mm.
brutal. It was for a long time, and then you kind of get away from it, and then that's when bad things happen. So I have people that I talk to all the time, and there's there's an anonymous club we belong to, and that's extremely helpful. And I know it feels like a lot of it used to be where, and I used to think I had to be a little drunk, have some drink to be charming and funny, and
Yeah.
it was such a it's such a chicanery. Like it's so voila. No,
It's a fallacy.
it's a fallacy, and it's cunning. That's what it is. People see it, and you don't think people see it. There was a fuzz around me for so many years. I think I would be, and I'm happy where I'm at, but I think I would be a lot more successful if I stopped sooner. But still hard. It's a daily thing you have to deal with. And I'm not blowing her anonymity, but one of my dearest friends is Jamie Lee Curtis. And every morning we text and we write a G, and then we write what we're grateful for, and then F, what our fears are, and then A, capital A, and this word has to be a capital, like an action, like a lover, something like that.
Love
And
that.
those kind of things. That's having gratitude is really
G+F+A.
yes, that's right.
G+F+A.
Yeah.
I love
Do you
that.
think do you think it was a way to keep the world away? Do you think it was a way to not let people really know who you were? And then
That's
once you
interesting.
stopped that and became a father, suddenly it was easier to allow people to see the real you?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so. I've always been pretty open. Although my dad, said, don't talk about politics, don't talk religion, don't talk this. And so
It's
you do,
reasonable.
yeah. And so for many years you kept it surfacey. And then there's a moment where you're like, well, if I don't really get a little more honest, then how interesting am I going to be? And how truthful? And that's with the book too. It was kind of like I stumbled upon without the truth. It's just paralysis, basically. And so when you start letting go like that, it does open you up. But a lot of celebrities talk about how great everything is. I'm just, you guys, same with you. We're just humans, we're just,
That's it.
and that's one of the good things about social media, that people can look and go like, oh, they're just like us. They put their pants on 3 legs at a time, or whatever. Um, but it's all about gratitude now. And for years too, I've always been kind of open, and I love being famous. I think I'm one of the few celebrities that would ever say that. But my whole, I was sort of 18, 19 when I became famous. But that's what I wanted, and I love meeting people. I have no problem taking pictures of people, that kind of stuff. I love it. Um, and I, for so many years, I think theater. This is what theater did for me. Although it's funny because you finally get to an age and you let go. But I was always trying to shake this Uncle Jesse thing, right? And that's what I did. How to Succeed and Cabaret. Boy, I remember I saw it right after Alan left with Michael.
Michael C. Hall.
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
C.
C. Hall.
Hall.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't want to go. And my ex-wife was, well, let's go see it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go. It was a matinee. I'll take a nap. Right. And I'm in there, I'm trying to fall asleep on those wooden chairs. And all of a sudden the show starts. I'm like, oh my God, what am I watching?
Yeah.
And I was so moved. I mean, tears and standing
Yeah.
ovation. And and never in a million years thought that I could play that or how I would play that role or whatever. And then smash cut to me auditioning there in the Studio 54. And again, like I didn't know what I just glommed onto everybody around me there and begged them for their help and guidance. And then when you get in with a good cast like that, same with How to Succeed in Business, they sort of just lift you and carry you
Yes.
if
Yeah.
you're
Totally.
willing.
Yep.
And I remember a couple of people walking out early on because they thought they were coming to see Uncle Jesse and I was a little bit afraid of it. I remember talking to Sam and they said, no, keep doing that. And so then it was like, I'm going to see how many people I can make walk out of this fucking thing. And what's frightening about that role, as you guys know, is like, it's like MC ad libs, blah, 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 MC ad libs. You go
Yeah.
out in the audience and deal. And when I realized that, oh, I'm good at that part. I love people. And
Well, I know you're good at the ad-libbing because there was chatter when we were doing Boy from Oz and Hugh Jackman was
oh,
looking
right.
to end, and there was like 10, 15 minutes of banter that Hugh
Mhm.
would have to do as Peter Allen. And they were like, the producers, who has that skill? I mean, it's so rare to find. And your name
Oh,
kept
wow.
coming up as
Oh,
someone who
wow.
actually can keep that ball in the air for
Wow.
10, 15 minutes. It's not an easy feat.
I can't sing and dance like him, but I came to that show before I did 9. I
Uh-huh.
remember sitting in that audience going like, "Oh my God, what did I do? I can't do that. I can't do this." But but in Cabaret, there's a moment before the second act where you bring a girl up and you dance with her and you say funny things, and then you pull a guy up on stage. And I was having problems getting the guy to come up, and they said, "Don't look at the guy in the eyes. Just grab his hand and pull."
Ah,
So it's working,
interesting.
working. And then one night I go to do it, boom, and the guy's stopping me and I'm pulling harder, it's like a wrestling match. And he pulls me down into his lap and he goes, "I don't have any legs."
Oh my stars.
My hand to God. And I
Oh
was like,
my
"Oh
gosh.
And
my
that's
God."
when you said, "Have mercy."
Yeah, right. I said, "What?" And then I sat in his lap and we danced. And it was a beautiful moment. And he was grateful that I didn't. So
Oh,
those are fun stories. I think people like to hear those kind of things. My pants
oh.
split in How to Succeed in Business,
Oh,
the first
that's
couple nights.
funny.
And
Yeah,
I
in
was like,
theater, you do have to expect the unexpected. You
that's what's
just
great,
But
right?
have
that's
to.
the best part. That's the
Yeah.
best part, that unexpected, scare the
Yes.
crap out of you, and then
Yeah.
just see what you're made of. I
And we're all in
Yes.
control.
love
Like
that.
the way it ends is how we all function
Yep.
collaboratively as a team. And either
We're the
we flop
best.
together or we lift this up together.
It's the
That's
best.
the key. That's the thing too that I love about it is that whatever we want that audience to see at that moment, that's what they're going to see.
Yeah.
That's
No
right.
director
Really
telling you what to
powerful.
do. No editor is going to put this shot of it's here I am. And you better,
It's us.
and you better lay it all on the fucking stage. Like you said, I have a great, my bathroom is sort of a Broadway thing. And I have Cheetah, wrote on the Bye Bye Birdie and Dick Van Dyke. Cheetah was a friend of mine.
Oh.
She was there. And, and the other side, Liza, wrote on my Bye Bye Birdie script.
You were terrific.
No, I
No.
wasn't. Oh, that was you. Oh, sorry. Oh, I have a funny story about her too. She said, stab him in the heart and fuck the wounded.
Oh my God. Ooh.
Something like that.
Golly, love Liza.
She told great stories,
Oh.
obviously. Oh,
Yeah.
do the voice. Do her
No,
voice again?
no, I'm not doing it. I've
You
already
just
sung
did
it.
it.
No,
Okay.
I just sang Share for You. That's all you get. No more.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. Wait, so we're talking about
So we covered How to Succeed, and we talked about Cabaret. Do you want to talk about 9?
Then I went into 9. So we saw 9 in previews, and it was I didn't get it at first, and Antonio what I'll amend this, but he wasn't great. He couldn't understand him. His singing was whatever. It was the previews, first couple days,
Right.
and he wasn't getting the jokes. And I was like, you know what? Roundabout's going to ask me to do this part, and I'm going to say no. John, tell yourself now to say no. A year goes by, and they call and say, do you want to come back to Cabaret or 9? And I said, 9, yes. Because I was thinking, well, Antonio wasn't there. Come back to start rehearsals. And I had the driver from the airport. I said, take me to this theater over there. I want to go there. And we drive just as we turn the corner, the whole block is almost blocked. You couldn't even get down the street. And remember, Melanie Griffith was across the street.
Oh, sure.
Chicago, and he was
Chicago.
there. And I go, what's going on? Is the president in town? He's like, no, this is the last night of the
Banderas.
last couple of weeks of Banderas. I go, oh, really? He goes, yeah. And when he said Antonio Banderas, like it was like a beautiful creamy soup or something, like Antonio Banderas.
Antonio
And
Banderas.
yeah, right. I said, I got this, So I sneak in, and it wasn't announced. So and the sweet kid who was seating people took me over the stairs, and he said, what? He said, there's rumors that you might come in here, and I said, no. He goes, good. I mean, you're a fine actor and all, but Antonio, oh God, was it? Antonio comes out, and he was fucking great.
He was
I mean, he
amazing.
laid it all out,
He
like
really
you said,
was.
and he was so moving, and the people couldn't stand up fast enough. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? And it was hard. It was very hard. I had too much light in my eyes to play Guido at that moment. I was 40. I couldn't keep it open, but that was a great learning experience too. I said, that's it. I'm never going to replace anybody. And I did Bye Bye Birdie after that, which was, there I got to work with Jane Howdy Shell.
Yes. Oh, I love Jane. And Bill Irwin.
Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I got to get a hold of him. If you're listening, Bill, I got to get a hold of you, because I've been showing my son, Bill Irwin, since the day he was born. And Bill, and my son's name is Billy, and he just loves watching Bill. So that was, that one. And then I went and did, and this is the interesting story about The Best Man by the Gore Vidal show. Did you guys ever get to see that?
I did
It was
not.
No, I didn't see that.
It was a big, 3 hour, 4 hour, like it was 2 intermissions with long. This political thing, Gore Vidal, and the great, James Earl Jones was, I learned so much from him. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, God.
And it's the last thing, and curtain goes down, and we're all going to a party or something, and we're walking across the stage, just meet him. And I said, James, I have to tell you, you have done something for me that no one has. People look at me as a legitimate actor now. And it's a gift that I will always be grateful to you that I've changed people's perception of me. We walk out, the crowd's out there, asking for, and the door opens. I'm with him. And the first thing I hear is, hey, John, say have mercy. How are the Olsen twins? And I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I couldn't look at him. And he goes out the other way. And all of a sudden I hear, hey, James, say, Luke, I am your father, for my kid on the phone. And we both look at each other and say, fuck it. Fuck it.
You gotta embrace
Bring it
it.
on. You
Yeah.
gotta embrace it. Who cares? If
I think that's
guys
what
getting
Henry Winkler did with the Fonz. You
That's right.
can fight
Jason
it, or you can
Alexander.
embrace it and say,
We
know
had
what?
Jason Alexander on here.
Same
He will
thing.
forever be,
George.
part of the cast, be George in Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's right,
Always
that's right.
George Costanza.
Yep,
Always.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it.
And I've gotten to do so many other things that I don't need to prove myself. And that's when the beauty happens. That's when you just let go and, okay, want me to leave it all on the stage? Get ready, get the
Yeah.
mops because it's
Yeah.
going to come.
But again,
So is that
it's about not doing it for anyone else. It's just about doing the work and
Yes.
not being in control of how people receive the work
receive
because
it?
that's
That's
not your
right.
job.
And it's
But you
hard to get to that place.
It's very
You
hard.
because you'll get there, then you won't get there, and then like doing the show 8 shows a week, which is another whole beast.
it's a whole nother discipline,
Mhm.
isn't
You
it?
get a laugh on something the night before, so you try to get the next night. There's so many.
You must have come to terms though with Full House because then comes Fuller House. So you
Yes.
must have come to a healthy place, heart, mind, and soul to say, let's do this
Mhm.
again. Let's reboot this and see now what we can bring to this generation. Yeah?
You're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then I would complain about it. My agent's like, "You're the one who wanted to do this. You brought it back."
We will be right back with the 5 questions after a word from our sponsors.
If you were a pizza, are you thin crust, thick crust, deep dish, and what is your topping?
And I have a pizza oven outside that Jimmy Kimmel turned me on to, and I make pizzas out there. Anytime you guys are in Los Angeles, come over.
Oh, how
Oh, I
nice. What do you
love
put
it.
on yours?
Cheese, pizza, cheese, pepperoni, maybe.
Yeah.
If you could wake up tomorrow morning with a superpower, any superpower, what would it be?
Whoa. Well, the big one would be to be able to mend relationships and stop war, and that's
Mm.
that's sort of lofty. I would like to. I'd like to freeze this moment in time because I'm in the prime of my life at 60. I got a beautiful
Beautiful.
family. My kid's turning 6 tomorrow. We kept them alive for 6 years. That's a thing. And I just I just look at everything right now and just, oh my God, I'm so
Oh,
lucky.
that's
Oh,
great.
happy birthday, little Billy.
Mhm.
If we were to walk into your closet, is there a piece of clothing or like a piece of jewelry, any article that you will never get rid of because of the memories it holds?
Mm. I have my leather jackets from Full House. I like those.
Oh, that's a
I
good
keep
one.
all my stuff. I have the couch from Full House over there. I steal stuff from shows. I have a bunch
Good
of
for
stuff from
you.
ER, but yeah, I have a bunch of leather jackets. I think that are pretty. My
Okay.
wife's trying to get rid of stuff. It's like, why don't you give this away? Why don't I not give that away and just don't worry about it? We have so many closets in this thing.
Get your own closet. Leave my
She
closet
has
alone.
it. Yeah, she's more humble.
Okay, if you had a theme song, what would it be?
Believe it or not, I'm floating. Greatest American Hero.
Oh, I love
Greatest
it. Oh, that's a
American
good one.
That
hero.
just came out of nowhere, but I don't know. What's your theme songs?
Oh God.
This is the first time she's ever asked this question.
Sometimes I shake it up, Steph.
Oh yeah.
I think my theme song would be Sondheim's Move. Stop worrying where you're going. Move on. That would be mine.
Oh yeah.
That's
Send it
very
in.
sweet.
Mm.
I don't know what mine would be.
Come on. I know what it is.
What?
I know
Better
what
not
it
be
is.
Cher. Better not be Cher, John.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
It's not. I'm none of those.
Are
Okay,
you a
I'm gonna have
gypsy,
to
a
take
tramp,
it.
or a thief?
Okay, last question.
Here
Wait,
it
you
is.
didn't answer.
My go-to song to sing right now is called "The Mother," which is a Brandy Carlisle song. But
Oh,
you know,
she's
as
so
cheesy
good.
as it sounds, guys, it might be "Somewhere Over the Rainbow."
Oh,
Oh,
God.
love that.
That is my favorite song. That is a
Right?
perfect.
That's
How many perfect
beautiful.
songs are there? That song's
Not a
perfect.
lot.
Okay. Last question. If you were a nail polish color, what color would it be, John? And what is the cheeky little name?
I call it the MC. I would wear all kinds of different colors, and you'd bang them up, and just I kept it on for like 8 months, 9 months, the whole time. And I miss having it, but it was like blue and black and yellow and
Oh,
all
that's
kinds
a
of
good one.
sort of
The
like
MC.
Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, really.
Yeah, but like
Right.
but a little grungy and edgy. I love that.
That'd
Go
be a
get a
good show for you
tattoo.
too.
That will add to your edge.
Okay, I
This
hope
has
it's a
been
hit.
so wonderful. And
So
thank you
great.
so much for taking the time to
I'm
hang out
so
with us
grateful
and
to
play
the
with
two
us.
of you. And I hope to see you guys. If I'm in London, I'll come see you. And if I'll
Oh,
come to the
thanks, John.
Outsiders. Sorry.
Okay.
God bless
All
you
right.
both.
All right,
Thank you
you
very much for
too.
your
Thank
time.
you
I look
so
forward to
much,
meeting you in
John.
person.
Thank you,
Okay, thank
John.
you.
We talk about you for a little bit. So you log off and we stay on.
What are you going to say?
Bye.
Bye-bye, Birdie.
Coming up next, what struck a chord with us?
He is like, oh, he is Rickles.
He
with
is.
the bada
He's
boom, bada bang, bada bing, bada bang. Who knew that his brain worked like that? Had we not had this interview, I would have never guessed that
it's
he was
like
that.
playing ping pong. It just goes everywhere.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of talent. He does, you know, he's just always,
But it's like old school variety show comedy.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I am going to steal the G+F+A, the grateful,
Oh, yeah.
fearful,
We
and
could start
what was
texting
the
each
A?
other with that every morning.
That sounds nice.
And
What was
A,
the A?
action. Action.
Action.
Grateful, fearful, action. Oh,
Action.
maybe we could do that on Instagram with some of our listeners.
That
Post your
sounds great.
GFA. I love that.
Really great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that we didn't even really get to. I mean, we didn't talk about his stuff with the Beach Boys, which I find remarkable that he is a drummer for the Beach Boys and has been for a long, long time. We didn't even get to talk about any of that.
Yeah, we needed to talk about, as a California girl, talking about the Beach Boys was a big thing. Like they were the soundtrack to my life for a long time. That was it. That was so fun.
That was really fun. That was really
Mhm.
fun. So you can check out Stephanie's website for links to get tickets to the show in London. And I am doing a concert on August 5th at Birdland in New York City with one of our former guests, Scott Allen. So you can go to my website. I'll put both of those links below for tickets.
Cheerio, pals. I love
Cheerio,
you.
my friend. Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arns, who has been with us since day one. See you soon.